Hello everybody from Plant Reviews, today the 30th of December, and before I forget, I wish you a very happy new year, and hopefully will be a way better one that was 2020 for many of us, unfortunately. I will talk today about a plant that is a plant that I talked about in my YouTube channel roughly 10 months ago, and the reason that I am making that I'm shooting another video today is that it was the very first video on my YouTube channel, and I decided to hold the phone vertically rather than horizontally, so the video was terrible. However, considering that this plant is again in full bloom now, I decided to make a hopefully much better video today. So I'll talk today about Melianthus major, whose scientific name means giant honey flower, and indeed this is also the common name of the plant, giant honey flower. However, is also called honeybush, even if other plants are also called honey bushes and are not closely related to this plant. This plant is a plant that is an evergreen suckering shrub, so it can spread quite easily, and in nature is native and endemic to South Africa. However, it's been naturalized in India, Australia and New Zealand. It grows up to 3 meters tall, so about 10 foot, and also grows about the same in width. And this plant is characterized by really beautiful pinnate blue-green leaves, as you can see, about 30 to 50 centimeters long, that when touched release a characteristic smell of kind of peanut. The plant has another peculiarity. This is one of the few plants that you can grow in the UK that is actually a winter bloomer. This plant blooms in between late autumn and early spring, mostly, however, in the winter months. The flower spike is about 30 to 80 centimeters in length, and basically the plant starts blooming when the daylight decreases. Usually the flower spikes in most individuals are reddish brown. However, mine are greenish. These flowers are quite small, about 1.5-2 centimeters in length, and are purely green, except a very small kind of lobe that is yellow, and the stamens are brown. This is a plant that in nature is pollinated by birds, in particular by sunbirds. Sunbirds are very colorful small birds, perching birds that kind of resemble hummingbirds. However, they do not tend to hover the flowers when they feed on the flowers. They just indeed perch on the flower stems of many plants and then suck the nectar. These flowers, if pollination is successful, so not really very successful usually in the UK because there's no sunbirds, but sometimes occasionally insects are able to pollinate these flowers, is followed by green pods. The flowers, unfortunately, are not fragrant. However, they certainly add a really nice feature to an already really beautiful plant, in my opinion. Another thing that you have to consider about this plant is that other than the nectar, all the parts of the plant are poisonous. So if you have kids or pets, you have to remember to monitor them if they go near the plant. In cultivation, this is a plant that I found very easy to cultivate. I mean, I live in Kent, and there is the sunniest county of the UK, and this part of England is really absolutely great for this plant, because this plant need full sun, really thrives in full sun, and well drained soil. Even if it is important that when you plant it in the ground during the first months, you have to keep it moist, not waterlogged, because obviously the plant needs to acclimate to the location. However, after a few months, it really becomes one of the most drought-tolerant plants you can have in the garden, and ideally, the plant is better suited in a shelter position. However, in my garden indeed is quite sheltered. I have two fences that basically close my garden. Even with that, my garden can become quite windy, and indeed the wind usually damages the pineapple broom that is just at the back, and I will see it covered with a passion flower. However, the honeysuckle has never been damaged by these strong winds, and I think the reason is because actually the branches and the leaves are really quite sturdy and elastic. The plant it is hardy in USDA zone 8, so most of the UK, but actually some gardeners report this plant hardy even down to zone 7. In my garden it resisted without any problems the famous beast from the east. There was the cold spell we had in March 2018, where I had for 1 week a temperature down to -7 degrees, and the plant didn't suffer at all, didn't even lose any leaf, unlike many other plants that even if resisted, they lost completely the leaves and all the foliage died down. For example, my pink jasmine at the back, the Jasminum polyanthum, that luckily recovered after the temperature increased. However, the honeysuckle really didn't have absolutely any problem. This is a plant that gained the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. The main use of this plant is as an architectural plant, because obviously of the beautiful pinnate leaves that have these amazing teeth, and also of this beautiful color that is kind of blue-green. In particular, there are two varieties of Melianthus major that are popular for their peculiar color. One is the Antonus blau, that has bluish leaves, even more blue than the nominal species, and the other one is the purple haze, that has leaves whose teeth are more finely divided and has shades of purple on the foliage. So definitely two plants that really can add a lot of interest to your garden. This plant is absolutely amazing in a tropical looking garden, so if you're looking to add something really exotic to your garden, this is hardy in most of the UK. Definitely Melianthus major is one of the best choices to add as a focal point in the garden. The plant in zone USDA 8, so most of the UK, is evergreen, and this is another bonus if you want this plant in an exotic looking garden, a tropical looking garden in the UK or other temperate climate. However, the one little problem of this plant is that while growing, the plant periodically loses the leaves at the base. So part of the plant, like in my case, are basically half of the plant is a bare stem. You can't really tell if you don't prune too much the plant, because due to the fact it produces suckers, from afar looks still all green. But actually, if you go close by, obviously you can see the bare stems. So, and another problem with this plant is actually that the leaves, before being shed, held to the plant completely dry and dead for a few weeks, so it's really not a very good sight. So what you can do obviously is either keeping clean the plant or cut it down every year in early spring, and the plant will bounce back. Basically cutting down the plant to about 30-40 centimeters tall is also a way to keep this plant in climates from zone 7 and a little bit lower, because if you mulch the plant adequately and you cut it back, you can actually grow it in colder areas where temperature falls below -4 degrees. Another option for this plant is that you can keep this beautiful plant in a pot if you really live in a very cold climate, for example extreme northern and central Europe, or for example many parts of Canada and the USA, and keep it in a greenhouse or in a conservatory in winter and bring it back in spring, summer and early autumn, when there is no risk of temperatures a lot lower than 0 degrees. The plant is also pest free, and really it's one of my favorite plants. I very seldom fertilize it, and it grows absolutely perfectly. So it is really a plant that I think anyone can grow. I repeat again what this plant really needs: full sun. Ideally can tolerate partial shade, but really in full sun will thrive, especially if you live in a climate that is a bit cold, and well drained soil, and ideally a position not too exposed to winds. And as I said, another beautiful peculiarity of these splendid architectural plants with these bluish green leaves in the individual I have is the fact that the flowers are in bloom between late autumn and early spring, and definitely this is a season when not many plants are in flower, and actually most plants, as you can see, also tend to lose their leaves as well, like for example this syringa bush and roses, and well, many other plants in temperate climates. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you would like to have more information or ask some more details about how to cultivate this plant, please write it down in the comment below, and I will try to respond as soon as possible. If you like the video, it would be great if you can give a thumbs up, and obviously also if you like this video and you like also my other videos and would like to keep to get regular updates, it would be great if you can subscribe to my channel. In this way you can support my channel and help it growing. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time, and again I wish you a very happy 2021. Bye.